Hello guys, we are from Team 16481 Roboracers, and today we're going to teach you how to CAM. So first of all, what is CAM? CAM is computer-aided manufacturing. Computer-aided manufacturing is what you need to run your CNC. It is just a set of instructions that you make to give your CNC to run. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open Fusion 360. After you open Fusion 360, you are going to want to go to Open and import a step file of your object if it is from another source like Onshape. You're going to export it as a step file from Onshape and then bring it into Fusion 360. After you bring it into Fusion 360, you want to make sure it is flat onto the surface. So you have to make sure it's not standing like this. If it is standing like this, what you're going to want to do is tap on it, move to copy, and then you're going to want to rotate it 90 degrees until it touches the ground. So now, even after it is rotated, you guys want to make sure it is touching the floor. And in my case, it is not. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to right click, move slash copy, go to this option, point to point, select one of the bottom points of this, go here to origin and select O. So now it moves to the origin and it is to the bottom. After we have everything set up in the design section, we're going to go to manufacture. So once you go to your manufacture section, this is where we can start making the setup and everything. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to this tab right here, setup, and hit new setup. Once we hit new setup, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select the bottom left corner of your object. This is usually the easiest way, and this is where the point that you're going to be starting your CNC. And the bottom left corner is usually the easiest way to, like, the easiest direction to start your CNC in, and it saves the most space. After you do that, you're going to want to go to stock and hit no additional stock. That is because we want it to cut the exact size that we have told it to. After we do that, we're going to just hit OK. So now our setup is complete. After this, we're going to want to make a 2D contour. A 2D contour is now that we're telling it instructions to contour into these holes. So you're going to go and get 2D and hit 2D contour. After your 2D contour, the first thing you're going to want to do is select your tool. If your tool is already in Fusion 360 library, you guys can go ahead and select it. If it is not, I will be teaching you how to add your bit into Fusion 360. So you're going to want to go to your object's name or whatever it is, and then you're going to want to hit the plus sign. After you hit the plus sign, you're going to want to see what type of bit you have. So as you guys see here, I have a flat end mill, and I'm just going to select flat end mill. I'm going to name the bit, and now I'm going to go to the cutter section. Here, I want to select the number of flutes it has. So you're just going to count the number of flutes on your bit, and in my case, I have 2 flutes. After that, you want to select the diameter of your bit. The nice thing about Onshape is that it shows you what exactly to measure on this diagram right here. So what you're just going to want to do is just measure your bit, and mine is 1/4 of an inch. So now it automatically does the shaft diameter for you, but you always still want to check it as your shaft diameter sometimes could be bigger and your diameter of your bit could be smaller. So I'm just going to check it again, and mine is also 1/4 of an inch in this case, but it could be different in your case. Now you're going to want to select the overall length of your bit, and in this case mine is 63.1 mm. And then you want to see the length below the holder. So what the length below the holder is that whatever part you're going to be into the holder, you're not going to count it. So in this case, if I put this much into the holder, I'm going to measure this part of it. So what I like to do for this part is I just like to cover up the top part, or like whatever part I'm going to be putting into the holder, and I like to measure from the bottom of my hand to the bottom of the bit, which in this case is 31 mm. Now the shoulder length. The shoulder length is like where the cutting part starts. So like around from this bottom part right here to the top of my bit right there. So in this case, my whole area is 23 mm. And then your flute length is like from the start of your first flute till the bottom of your bit. In my case, 16.5 mm. Once all that is done, it's just going to show your bit right here, and you're just going to hit accept. And you're going to hit select. So now in this case, you're also going to want to select your coolant if you have one. But I'm not going to be using a coolant in this case. And you're going to go here and hit custom presets. So now you're going to choose your spindle speed. In this case, I'm going to run at 10,000 RPM. And then you're also going to want to choose your feed rate. And I'm just going to leave it at 1,000 because that's an okay speed for me to run it. But you guys should not copy my spindle speeds and feed rates here, as it could always vary with the type of machine you have, the type of bit you're using, the power of your router, and many other factors like the material you're cutting, etc. And it keeps going on. So like you should do your research on what type of what spindle speed you should run at, and what your feed rate should be, and for the type of bit you have and the bit diameter you have and everything, so that it runs like the safest and fastest possible ways for you. So after all of this is done, what you're going to want to do is go into geometry, contour selection, and you're just going to want to hit the bottoms of each holes in this case. So after the bottom of each hole is selected, what you're going to want to do is just select the bottom of each hole, and then you're going to want to hit okay. So now that this contour is done, what we're going to want to do is contour the whole thing. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to hit the bottom of this. But for this one, since it is like such a big area, there can be a lot of stress on the bit when it goes straight down and just contours the whole area out. So for this area, what I recommend doing is I recommend hitting to the ramp tool. So what the ramp tool does is that it's slowly gonna go into your material, so that like it doesn't just go straight down and cut around the whole object, because when it goes straight down and cuts around the whole object, it has 3 mm of the force on it. It has like 3x of the force. But when it's only cutting 1 mm at a time, it has less force on it. So what I usually like to do is my maximum step down is 1 mm for this 3 mm material, and my ramp's clearance height is the height it starts from, like it's taller than your material, so it goes 0.5 on top of your material. So then it slowly merges into your material and has like a smooth start as well, so your bit does not get damaged. After you do that, you're just going to want to hit OK. You can also do the ramp for your holes, but that is your choice if you want to do it or not. The ramp does add time, but it is more efficient and safe. So after this is all done, you're just going to want to simulate, and then you can simulate it happening. As you guys see here, my holes are not simulated. That is because my bit is too big for these holes, but your bit should work if you guys have the correct bit size for these holes. So now after all this is done, you're going to want to export it. So how you export it is you're just going to want to go to Actions and hit Post Process. When you hit Post Process, you're going to want to hit this folder, and you're going to go to Fusion 360 Library. Once you go to Fusion 360 Library, you're going to scroll down until you see GRBL. So it's just going to come in a bit, and it is right here. It's after GRBL laser and turning. So you're just going to want to select on GRBL and hit select. Press copy it on my posts, and it should automatically come up there. Your guys' will probably say GRBL/GRBL if you guys are doing this for the first time. So now the name/number. Here I'm going to name the cam/tutorial. And then I'm just going to hit post. So now I can see that it has been converted into an NC file, and this is the location it has saved in. And now I can upload this NC file into my Candle software, and I can run the CNC, and it should work just fine. And sometimes you have to do a couple iterations, but it works out pretty well. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys learned how to cam from this video. If you guys have any questions about camming, you guys can just tell me down in the comments, and I will try to respond as soon as possible. Thank you guys.